Welcome back to the social class, students. So this is your fourth video of lesson 1 history, advent of the European, and today we are going to start from Dutch in Tamil Nadu. The Portuguese, who established a control over Pulicat since 1502, were overthrown by the Dutch. So the Portuguese people who were established a control over Pulicat since which year? 1502. They were overthrown by the Dutch people. They came and they overthrew these Portuguese people. In Pulicat, the Dutch built the fort Geldria in 1613. In Pulicat, Dutch people built a fort called Geldria, which you are seeing in the picture. So this is the fort. Okay, in Tamil we call it as Kotai. Okay, this fort was once the seat of Dutch power. So this was once the seat of Dutch power. The Dutch established a settlement at Pulicat in 1610. In the year 1610, Dutch they made their settlement in which place? In Pulicat. Diamonds were exported from Pulicat to the western countries. So they started exporting diamonds from Pulicat to the western countries. The other Dutch colonial forts and possessions were Nagapattinam, Punnakayal, Porto Novo, Kadalur and Devanampattinam. So these were the colonial forts and possessions of Dutch. Next is British. On 31st December 1600, Elizabeth, the Queen of England, granted charter to the Governor and Company of Merchants of London to trade with East Indies. On the year 1600, 31st December, Elizabeth, she was the Queen of England. She granted charter to the Governor and Company of Merchants of London to trade with East Indies. The company was headed by the Governor and a court of 24 directors. Captain Hawkins, he visited Jahangir's court in the year 1608 to get certain concessions for the company. So Captain Hawkins, he visited whose court? Jahangir's court in the year 1608 to get certain concession for the company. He just wanted to get concession for his company. So he visited his court in the year 1608. He secured permission to raise a settlement at Surat. However, the emperor cancelled the permission under the pressure from the Portuguese. So this is the picture of Queen Elizabeth of England. So, and this is a picture of Captain Hawkins. Next, in 1612, the English captain Thomas Best is the name. Okay, he was the English captain. Inflicted a severe defeat over the Portuguese in the naval battle near Surat. So he made a severe defeat over Portuguese in the naval battle near Surat. The Mughal Emperor Jahangir permitted the English to establish their factory in 1613 at Surat. So the Mughal Emperor Jahangir, he permitted the English to establish their factory in 1613 at Surat, which initially became the headquarters of the English in Western India. So initially they made that Surat as a capital, that is headquarters. Okay. Captain Nicholas Downton won another decisive victory over the Portuguese in 1614. So he made another victory over the Portuguese in the year 1614. These events enhanced the British prestige at the Mughal court. In 1615, Sir Thomas Roe was sent to Jahangir's court by King James I of England. He remained at Agra for 3 years and succeeded in concluding a commercial treaty with the emperor. Before the departure of Sir Thomas Roe, the English had established their trading centers at Surat, Agra, Ahmedabad, and Bhuj. So this you get in short answer. So from here, yes, from here till here you have a short answer. Before the departure of Sir Thomas Roe, the English had established the trading centers, okay, at Surat, Agra, Ahmedabad, and Bhuj. You have this as a fifth short answer. Yes, fifth short answer, that is mention the trading centers of the English in India. So what are the trading centers? Surat, Agra, Ahmedabad, and Bhuj. Okay. Yes. Next, this is the picture of Jahangir and Sir Thomas Roe. Next, on the coastal line of the Bay of Bengal, the English established their first factory in 1611 at Masulipattnam, an important port in the territory of the Kingdom of Golconda. So on the coastal line of Bay of Bengal, English people, they established their first factory in the year 1611. At Masulipattnam, which is an important port in the territory of the Kingdom of Golconda. In 1639, the English merchant called Francis Day. Francis Day is a name. He was an English merchant. He obtained Madras as a lease from Chennappa Nayak. Okay, he obtained Madras as a lease from Chennappa Nayak, the ruler of Chandragiri. The East India Company built its famous factory known as Fort St. George in Madras, which became their headquarters for the whole of their eastern belt and first fort built by British. King Charles II of England received the island of Bombay as a part of his dowry from the Portuguese king. So King Charles II, who belongs to England, he received an island of Bombay as a part of his dowry from the Portuguese king. Okay. On the occasion of his marriage with Catherine, he married Catherine. In the year 1668, the East India Company acquired the island at an annual rent of pounds 10. So this is the symbol of pounds, like L, right? Pounds, like this, right? Okay. Pounds 10 from Charles II. So picture of Fort St. George, Chennai. This is the picture of King Charles II and his wife Catherine, okay, wife of King Charles II. Next, in 1690, a factory was established at Sutanuti, okay, Sutanuti by Job Charnock. The zamindari of the three villages of Sutanuti, Kalikata, and Govindpur was acquired by the British in the year 1698. These villages later grew into the city of Calcutta. The factory at Sutanuti was forfeited in the year 1696, and this new fortified settlement was named as Fort William in 1700. So this is the picture of Job Charnock. After the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the Battle of Buxar in 1764, the company became the political power. So Battle of Plassey, which happened in 1757, Battle of Buxar in the year 1764. It was under the East India Company's rule till 1858, after it came under the direct administration of the British Crown. And next comes Danish. On March 17, 1616, the King of Denmark, Christian IV, issued a charter and created a Danish East India Company. So in the year 1616, March 17, the King of Denmark, named Christian IV, he issued a charter and created a Danish East India Company. They established settlement at Tranquebar, which is in Tamil Nadu. That is Tarangambadi, we call it in Tamil. Tranquebar in English. In the year 1620, and Serampore, which is in Bengal, in 1676. Serampore was their headquarters in India. They failed to strengthen themselves in India, and they sold all their settlement in India to the British in the year 1845. This picture of Christian IV, King of Denmark. Next, do you know? Danish called Tranquebar as Dannesborg. The King of Denmark sent Zengabol to India. Zengabol set up a printing press at Tranquebar, which is called as Tarangambadi. Next, so picture of Tranquebar Danish fort. Next, coming to French. The French East India Company was formed in the year 1664 by Colbert, the minister of King Louis XIV. In the year 1667, a French expedition came to India under Francois Caron. France was the last European country to come India as traders. Caron founded the first French factory in India at Surat. In the year 1669, Marcara founded second French factory at Masulipatam by securing a patent from Sultan of Golconda. So a picture of King Louis XIV. And next, in the year 1673, the settlement of Pondicherry was founded by Martin under a grant from Sher Khan Lodi. So this is the picture of Colbert. In 1673, settlement of Pondicherry was founded by Martin under a grant from Sher Khan Lodi. He was a ruler of Bijapur. Pondicherry became the most important and prosperous French settlement in India. So Pondicherry became the most important and prosperous French settlement in India. A fort known as Saint Louis was built by Francois Martin in Pondicherry. So a fort known as Saint Louis was built by Francois Martin in Pondicherry. In 1673, the French obtained permission from Shaista Khan, the Mughal Subedar. Subedar is nothing but governor of Bengal, to establish a township of Chandranagore, which is near Calcutta. The French East India Company established factories in different parts of India, particularly in the coastal regions such as Mahe, Karaikal, Balasore and Kazim Bazar. So these were the places where they established many factories, different factories. These were a few important trading centers of the French East India Company. The vision of the French power in India was further reinforced by the appointment of Joseph Francois Dupleix as the governor of the French East India Company in the year 1742. You could see a Dupleix statue in our park, right? He succeeded Dumas as the French governor of Pondicherry. Next, Swadeshi. You could see Swadeshi Mill in Pondicherry. A Swadeshi East India Company was founded in Gothenburg, Sweden in 1731 for the purpose of conducting trade with the Far East. The venture was inspired by the success of the Dutch East India Company and the British East India Company. So, conclusion of the lesson. Since the Portuguese were eliminated by the Dutch and later extinguished by the English, the French were left to face the English for control over trade and territory. The French neglected trade and entangled themselves in wars with India and other European powers. The three Carnatic Wars ruined the French and rejuvenated the English to embark on a systematic territorial expansion. The comparative success of the British over the Portuguese, the Dutch, the Danish and the French was largely due to their commercial competitiveness, spirit of supreme sacrifice, government support, naval superiority, national character and their ascendancy in Europe. Okay children, we have completed the lesson. Kindly go through the lesson and read the lesson and see. Thank you and take care.